Hey, y'all, come on in the room. We're talking about student loan consolidation. So if you guys have time, come on in the room. We'll be talking about a little bit about public service loan forgiveness, a little bit about student loan consolidation, and any questions that you guys may have. So come on in the room, go ahead and like the broadcast and share the broadcast as well. If you're just coming in, we'll be talking about student loan consolidation, which is affiliated with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. And then, of course, we'll be answering any questions you guys have about Biden's announcement with the new student loan forgiveness as well. So come on in the room, share the broadcast with somebody that you know that needs information about student loans. And then hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let me know in the comments. How's everybody doing tonight? It's today, Thursday? Headed into the weekend. So if you're just coming in the room, we'll be talking about student loan consolidation. And actually, I don't see the title up there anymore, but we'll be talking about student loan consolidation, which is affiliated with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. So come on in the room. Student loan forgiveness, talking about student loan forgiveness, public service student loan forgiveness, and student loan consolidation specifically, because I know a lot of people are saying that they are scared to consolidate their loans. And you're a little less scared when you have information. So go ahead and share the broadcast, like the broadcast if you could. Go ahead and also follow, that would be great. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't want to keep you guys too long, okay? So we're talking about basically student loan consolidation, or otherwise known as direct consolidation. And so now, if you can call it direct consolidation or debt consolidation, whatever you guys want to call it, okay? But it basically means that you're taking all the loans that you have, so maybe it's 10 or 15 different loans, and you're putting it into one loan. And that one loan is going to have one interest rate. So instead of having 15 different interest rates, you're going to have one new weighted interest rate, okay? And so it's weighted interest rate basically just means it's slightly higher than an average interest rate, okay? And I can show you the math if you really want to see. But so direct consolidation, one loan, one weighted interest rate, okay? And so understand though too that it doesn't necessarily mean that when you consolidate your loans that your interest rate will decrease. Usually when your interest rate decreases, it's more like when you refinance your loan. That's when you're really looking to decrease your interest rate, okay? So be mindful that when you consolidate your loans, you may not necessarily be able to decrease your interest rate, okay? Because it's more of like a weighted average interest rate of all of your balances and all of the interest rates that you have, okay? If you're just coming in the room, we're talking about student loan consolidation affiliated with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, okay? So all of your loans now, 15 of those are in one loan with that one weighted average interest rate, okay? So here's a few little things you need to know. That you actually don't have to consolidate every single loan. Most people don't know that, and I know that I didn't know that either, okay? So I had no idea that I could, let's say, leave out one or two loans that maybe they had a super low interest rate, because remember, it's being averaged out. So if you have a 5% loan and one is a 2% loan, that 2% now is being averaged out, so it gets higher more than likely than 2% because it's getting averaged out with the rest of those loans. So if you have a low interest rate, 2% or 3%, something like that, or you're almost done paying off the loan, whatever your reason may be, you can leave that loan out of the consolidation. So I need you guys to remember that. You're going to consolidate your loans. Remember, you don't have to consolidate them all, okay? And now, when you also consolidate, you actually still have access to your federal protections. So federal loan protections, so repayment options and forgiveness programs, which is why you can consolidate your loan and then let's say get the new Biden announcement, which is a new student loan forgiveness plan. You can get those funds, but you can also apply for the public service loan forgiveness program. So any of those forgiveness programs and federal loan protections like forbearance, deferment, you still have access to all of those even after consolidation. And so, but refinancing your student loans, that is where you lose those federal loan protections. So when you refinance, you are no longer eligible for student loan forgiveness. So I need you to keep that in mind. But with direct consolidation, you still have federal loan protections, repayment options, as well as the forgiveness programs. Okay? Hello. I am Luke's Arrival. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming on in. Go ahead and like the broadcast if you guys can, please. And follow and share. That would be so great. So we're talking about student loan consolidation affiliated with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, okay? So we talked about a few things so far. Your 15, let's say 10 or 15 different student loans that you have now goes into one loan with one weighted average interest rate, okay? And we were saying that you still have access to your federal loan protections, your repayment options, and your forgiveness programs. And you do not have to consolidate all of your loans when you consolidate. You can leave some out if, let's say, there's a lower interest rate, 2% on this one loan, or you're almost done paying it off. You do not have to include that in the consolidation. Because sometimes what's hard is that I'll talk about this a little bit later too, is that often when you consolidate, it's like, because you're taking a new loan, so the terms of that loan begin again. They start over. That is the normal normal requirements that happen with a consolidation, is that you're really starting over. So we'll explain that a little bit later, okay? So one of the next things is that your monthly payment may go down when you have after you consolidate your loans. But a lot of the times it's because, right, we have a new loan. And now more than likely you have now chosen a new length of time that you're going to pay that loan off over, right? So you said, okay, I'm applying for this consolidation. I've chosen a new loan and a new repayment time frame. So your payment could go down, but more than likely it's because you extended the time period that you're going to pay that loan over. So which means that you are paying more interest over the life of the loan because you've extended the time frame, right? Because the longer you're paying on it, the more interest that you'll pay over time, right? So that's something to keep in mind when you consolidate, okay? And then if you have unpaid interest when you consolidate your loans, which a lot of us don't know if we have unpaid interest, it's really your servicer that would know if you have unpaid interest, right? So it's still some interest hanging out that has not been paid off, but which means that we really don't have a lot of control over that usually, because it's over time you're paying off that interest, right? And so if you still have unpaid interest when you consolidate, that unpaid interest is added on to the back of the loan, which means that it's added on to the principal balance of your loan. Okay, so which means your principal balance could go up a little, but you'll be asking why, and then it'll be because you had some unpaid interest that still needs to be quote unquote capitalized, which means it's added to the back of the loan, or will then increase the principal balance. Okay, so it's important to know that, but also important too to like when you're going through this process of consolidation, even before you start. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. My glasses are a little wacky, I've heard, but I really appreciate it so much. So what's best is that if you are consolidating your student loans, you really want to have the conversation with your servicer or your Department of Education to say, okay, so what will my payment look like when I consolidate? Because for some, it doesn't necessarily make sense, right? Because you learn that, okay, my payment might go up if I consolidate. And most people don't want to hear that, right? You don't want to hear that your payment's going to go up considerably when you consolidate. But you want to know that before you consolidate. You don't want to find out after you consolidated that, that your payment is now going to go up $200 or $300, okay? Because not everybody's loan will go down. Not everybody's loan will have a lower monthly payment, Okay, so it's important. Call your servicer, call the Department of Education and say, hey, what will my new payment be? Can you give me an idea if I do consolidate? Because I know a lot of people have been in the comments telling me, hey, I'm scared of consolidating. I don't really know what it is. I don't know what will happen. And I don't want to be paying out of the wazoo per month in order to consolidate, okay? So once again, if you have unpaid interest still on your loan when you consolidate, your unpaid interest will be tacked on to your principal balance, okay? And so now this next part is kind of where we're talking about how when you consolidate your loan, you now have this new loan with a new rate. So, which means under normal circumstances that any payments that you've made before the consolidation are null and void. They basically don't exist anymore because now you have a new loan with a new rate. Okay, so like basically saying you would lose credit for those previous payments that were on an income-driven repayment forgiveness plan. And normally, if you were on public service loan forgiveness and you've made past payments, those would no longer count. But now this limited waiver that ends October 31st, 2022, your payments that were going towards public service loan forgiveness before, and then now you've consolidated, all of those payments would still count. But that's with the limited waiver, okay? So knowing that normally when you consolidate, you are restarting your payments towards that loan as far as like the Department of Education is concerned. With this limited waiver, they're counting all of those payments that you've made, both before and then after the consolidation, on this waiver for the public service loan forgiveness. So I hope that makes sense. And so some key points that I want you guys to remember too. So you actually can't undo a consolidation. So there's no like, okay, I take it back. You can't take it back. Once the consolidation is done, it's done. Okay, so it's important to remember. So you want to make sure that you are well informed when you go through the consolidation process, and you've called to say, okay, can you give me an idea of what my payment will be, what this will look like, and ask all the questions that you have, okay? And then you can also, well, this is actually what I did. This is like, I guess my life story is that I consolidated all of my loans. I think I had maybe 15 or 20 loans. I consolidated those loans, and then I refinanced those loans after that. So which meant when I refinanced those loans in, I think it was like 2018 or something, or no, that's not right, 2015 or 16, when I refinanced those loans, I was no longer eligible for any kind of forgiveness programs or federal loan protections like forbearance, deferment. All of that was null and void because I refinanced my loans. But the point is that if you consolidated, you still could have access to those federal loan protections like forbearance, deferment, as well as your forgiveness program. So Biden student loan forgiveness program, the public service loan forgiveness. So those are still part of your eligibility, okay? And then you do have the option though, later on down the line, you can consolidate and then you can refinance too, okay? So just a little tidbit. And then you, of course, remember we talked about you do not have to consolidate every single last one of your loans. I need you guys to understand that. So if you have a loan that has a super low interest rate, leave it that way. So if it's at 2%, much lower than the rest of your student loans, you can leave that out of the consolidation. If you're just coming in the room, I'm realizing that says ASMR up there, but we're talking about student loan consolidation or affiliated with the public service loan forgiveness program. Let me know if you guys have questions. Yeah, that's pretty much the teaching for today. So I'm trying to think of a few videos that I have done recently that I would want to update you guys on. So if you're wondering why the application is not out yet, so we have seen a preview. So just maybe yesterday, I saw a preview of on studentaid.gov of what the student loan application would look like. And so from what it seems like right now, you don't have to upload your W-2s, like your 2020 or your 2021 W-2s, at least as of right this moment. That could change, right? Because it could make it much easier for them to make their decision if they have those, rather than having to go seek them out. But they'll need yours. So you'll go on the studentaid.gov website and it'll basically show you that, okay, you need to put in, Someone is trying to join the live. Oh, I don't know if I click fast enough to make him not join the live. We might be having a really good time soon. Sorry. Okay, so on the studentaid.gov website, you would have to give your name, your social security number, and you would have to attest that you are basically in line with the income limits. So which means that if you are single, you make less than $125,000, or if you are married, you make less than $250,000. So you're just confirming and attesting to that, which of course would be much easier if they had your W-2, because they will be going according to your 2020 or your 2021, basically your tax return, okay? And so that was one thing. And then what is holding the application up is actually that there are about 6 states that are trying to sue, and basically there are lawsuits against the Biden administration. From what I read, it says those 6 states don't believe that the Biden administration has authority to provide these forgiveness programs. They're like, no, we shouldn't be doing this. They're thinking, okay, less revenue will go to the states and things like that. So we're in the process of waiting to see what the outcome will be. I want to say someone said maybe yesterday, it was either yesterday or today, that they were kind of in court basically trying to see, okay, is it pending? Will we continue on? So I think we're waiting at this point just to see what the outcome is. That will there be a halt to it? Because remember, so as soon as this application comes out, you'll have until December 31st, 2023. So over a year then to get the application in and to get your forgiveness. And remember, the forgiveness is $10,000 normally, or it's so it's $10,000 for just regular borrowers, and then $20,000 if you are a Pell Grant recipient. And so we were just talking about the student loan forgiveness. And then if you're just coming in the room, we're also talking about student loan consolidation affiliated with the Public Service Student Loan Forgiveness Program. Any questions out there? And for Luke's survival. It looks like it's mostly just us on here tonight. Not many people hanging out. It's still pretty early. It's not even 8 o'clock. Any questions out there? Man, there were so many questions last time. It was like crazy. We were in here an hour and 15 minutes, and I didn't think I started till 10 p.m. Well, it was nice to see you again. I am for Luke's survival. It was very nice. Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate it. And I guess I will see you guys next time. I really felt the unction that I needed to explain the debt consolidation or student loan consolidation, since there were some worries about doing that affiliated with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm trying to think of what else. I told you those 2 things. I think we were still waiting for like updates about the different states that would want us to pay taxes on the money from the student loan forgiveness program, which it looked like there was someone so kind to give us the information. It looks like Indiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, North Carolina were all states, if I remember correctly, that said, hey, we're going to need you guys to pay taxes on this money, okay? And then remember, the loans that were included were like federal loans, graduate loans, Parent Plus loans, and then even before just recently that the FFEL loans and the Perkins loans that were privately held were no longer included in this forgiveness. So just remember that. So privately held FFEL or Perkins loans are no longer included in the forgiveness. But if you happen to consolidate your loans from those private FFEL loans and Perkins loans before September, I think it was the 29th of September, then you would receive forgiveness because the announcement was just on the 29th. Hey guys, if you're just coming in the room, thanks for joining us. We're talking about student loan consolidation, affiliated with the public service loan forgiveness. So if you have questions about student loans, student loan forgiveness, any of the PSLF, let me know. Excuse me. Trying to think of what else. And then your loans for this student loan forgiveness, Biden's announcement, they have to be dispersed before June 30th, 2022. So I want you guys to think that, okay, you can take out loans now in October and then those loans will qualify. So they had to have already been dispersed as of June 30th, 2022, okay? And if you're looking to get alerts, you can go on studentaid.gov and sign up for the alerts to find out when the application, the student loan forgiveness application will be live. Because when it is live, you do want to do that as quickly as you can to go ahead and receive that $10,000 forgiveness for most borrowers, or $20,000 if you're a Pell Grant recipient. And thank you for, if you like the broadcast, I appreciate it. Or if you shared it with somebody that you know, I really appreciate that as well. And if you followed. And so I will catch you guys next time. You guys take care, okay? All right. Bye-bye.